All right, Temple and Rutgers. We've got Rutgers, 9.5 point home favorites, 44 the total. I'm very confident in my power rating for Northwestern. They might be the worst Power 5 team right now after what I saw last week. That was god-awful. That was hideous. And that looked like a coaching staff that was just in over their heads. Like this guy that's now the head coach at Northwestern was not expecting to be the head coach. He wasn't. And he was ill-prepared. It's like they had no game plan. They had no identity on offense whatsoever. The O-line was pathetic. Defense couldn't get off the field on third down. Rutgers goes right up and down the field with a quarterback that wasn't even that great last year for Rutgers and Gavin Wimsatt. And I said this on Twitter. Either Gavin Wimsatt has worked like crazy over the offseason to become the second coming of Joe Montana all of a sudden, or Northwestern is that bad on defense right now. But that was hideous out of Northwestern. I am very confident in my power rating on Northwestern. I think they are one of, if not the worst Power 5 team right now in college football. But I don't have confidence in my Rutgers power rating. How much credit do I give this Rutgers team for what happened on Sunday? Because I thought it was Northwestern being that bad, really atrocious. Just the whole, scandal in the offseason really taking a toll. Remember, they had a lot of players jettison out of the program as well in the offseason, and Rutgers took advantage. And Rutgers played well. And I will give Wimsatt a decent amount of credit, but this is one spot where I don't feel comfortable taking Rutgers, especially laying 9.5 here. Now, Temple was a shockingly dismal performance from them, and especially E.J. Warner at the quarterback position for the Temple Owls last week. And this is a Temple team I thought with definite aspirations to improve significantly this year. And I like the way they played down the stretch. They were a point spread machine down the stretch last year, but that was not pretty against Akron. And I like Akron as a MAC team that's going to really turn some heads and improve this year. Akron is going to be one of those teams, but there's no way you should be struggling that mightily on offense at home against Akron in a 24-21 win. It was very disappointing to see what we got from the Temple offense and E.J. Warner. We'll see how they fare here against Rutgers. Keep in mind, last year these two teams played. It was a September game. Temple was getting 18.5, and Rutgers won that game by 2 last year against Temple. Now, Rutgers did absolutely destroy Temple 2 years ago, 61-14. But last year it was a competitive game. It was a 2-point game. I don't feel comfortable either way on a side. Normally, I like Temple in this role as a dog, and they were very good down the stretch, catching points last year, Conor. They were a machine, ATS down the stretch in this underdog role. But, man, that was rough offensively from them. And Rutgers' defense was suffocating. How much of it was just a bad Northwestern football team, but they were suffocating on defense. They were excellent, and that's Schiano's bread and butter, is the defensive side of the football. So I have a real tough time wrapping my arms around betting a side in this game. It's that tricky because I don't know how good Rutgers is from beating a horseshit Northwestern side, and I don't know what to make of Temple after a shoddy effort, a shoddy performance, and a narrowest of victory last week against Akron. So a tough game to call. I have the slightest of leans to Temple. I don't know if I'll be betting it, though, at this after what I saw. I want to see if Rutgers can back it up against someone look, Temple's got flaws. We saw it last week, Conor. They're better than Northwestern. I have no qualms about saying that. Temple is better than Northwestern.
I think so,
this
too.
Will be a little bit trickier for Rutgers. What do you think here?
Yeah, and you know what? One thing, Northwestern just was so bad. Rutgers, I thought they were okay. One thing, Rutgers, even last year, against kind of a subpar team here in Temple, obviously with Northwestern, they took care of business. As soon as they stepped up, I couldn't take them as a dog. They got beat up. Where in past, I want these big numbers. Give me Rutgers. They really didn't cover, but they got it done. It's just, do you want to lay this? I don't really. In the end, is Wimsatt better? The defense, I think, is for Rutgers. But I still think Warner is a better quarterback and could keep them in this game. So, yeah, this was a tough one for me right now as well.
I lean over a little bit just because Rutgers offense, look, they had no problem moving the ball. Temple on defense, look, Akron, especially early in that game, first half, Temple couldn't stop Akron. Actually, they played a much better second half. They really did put the clamps down in the second half, Temple on defense last week. But for the first half, Akron was marching that football. up and down the field. So totals low. Two teams were pretty solid offensively last week. The question is, plus people are betting the under, I think, because look, Rutgers won't move the ball that easily against Temple as they did against Northwestern. And a lot of people seeing what Temple did offensively against Akron last week and Rutgers defense. So I understand the initial move to the under for sure, but the more it drops, the more I might look the other way, but we'll see closer to kickoff.